Rudy Giuliani going on the Tucker Carlson broadcast. Okay, it's Friday. You know, we're just having fun. We're freestyling. Nothing says freestyle like having Rudy Giuliani go on the Tucker Carlson broadcast as his fucking house is being raided.
Now, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani just learned that lesson the hard way yesterday when federal agents raided his home and took his files. By our count, Rudy Giuliani is at least the third attorney to have his personal communications with former President Donald Trump seized by the Justice Department. Sense a theme here?
Yes, that Trump is like so bad at doing corrupt shit that intelligence communities that normally look the other way could not get away with doing so. That's the theme. Unless the theme that you're saying here is that, there is a personal vindication. Like, there's a personal interest within the intelligence community to, like, take down Donald Trump or something. Look, everyone does corruption and crime. Come the fuck on. That's precisely why when you're investigating someone like, what was Trump's campaign manager? Paul Manafort. You then also could very easily investigate and indict someone like Tony Podesta, right? Like, foreign lobbying is something that these people engage in regularly and in very suspicious ways. It's not shocking that Trump is corrupt, except the difference is Donald Trump did it in such a way that was so in front of our eyes, that was not hidden from anyone's sight, that it was impossible to ignore. At least the other criminals, the other like routine offenders, do their due diligence when they're doing crimes to like hide their tracks a little bit.
Tell us what happened yesterday.
Well, about 6 o'clock in the morning, there was a big bang, bang, bang on the door, and outside were seven FBI agents with a warrant for electronics. They were very, very professional and very gentlemanly. The only time they got perturbed is at the end of the surge, when they had taken about, I'd say, 7 or 8 electronic items of mine, which is what they took. They weren't taking the 3 hard drives, which, of course, are electronic devices. I said, well, don't you want these? And they said, what are they? I said, those are Hunter Biden's hard drives.
Oh, my God. You mean to tell me that they raided you for a separate investigation and didn't take hard drives that are unrelated to that investigation? That's fucking crazy, dude. That's nuts. I mean, that's just corruption, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they should have literally taken those hard drives. I think they should take those hard drives because at least you could try to track how that information was revealed. And my suspicion is that it was certainly a hack. You should have said all electronics in his home belong to Hunter Biden. Yeah. Why are you apprehending me and not Hunter Biden? He's the real criminal here. It's like, well, sir, you are under investigation currently. Like, I mean, I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just taking it at face value. There's nothing else I can do. Like, even if he personally has Hunter Biden's hard drives, the FBI should take it so they can investigate how he came to find the hard drives. FBI comes knocking down Hunter Biden's door and arrests him for having a fat cock, dude.
But they relied on me, the man who had to be raided in the morning, because I'm going to destroy the evidence. I've known about this for 2 years, Tucker. I could have destroyed the evidence a year. I didn't destroy the evidence because the evidence is exculpatory. It proves that the president and I and all of us are innocent. They're the ones who are committing. It's like projection. They're committing the crimes.
Is he saying what I think he's saying? Did he just fucking admit that like it might have been stolen? I don't get it. Like, are they not trying anymore? Like, what the fuck is going on? This is something that has routinely confused me about conservatives, is like, when they get caught, they just like ramble on about like additional crimes potentially. How is this guy a lawyer, dude? Didn't this guy like investigate the fucking mob and shit as a prosecutor? Like, how the fuck? I don't even.
It's like projection. They're committing the crimes. Yeah, go ahead.
He pulled a Joe Biden. He pumped the brakes on his own fucking... maybe he just realized he's like self-reporting. He's like, yeah, okay, go ahead. That's why you never trust Italians that prosecute other Italians, okay? Rudy Giuliani, most famous for, aside from being America's mayor, being an Italian man who took down the Italian mob. How you gonna do this to me, fucking Rudy, huh? How you gonna do this to me? You're the fucking black sheep of the Italians, motherfucker. This is real Fredo on Fredo violence.
You're
Maron.
missing. The fact is, it also spells out, as we now know, a clear violation of the Gun Act. The application is a straight-out fraud. He says, I'm not an addict. We have a picture of him 5 days before smoking a crack pipe behind the wheel of a car.
Wait, dude. I didn't realize that the entire thing was just like, I thought he was at least going to talk about the fucking raid a little bit. The first minute mentions the raid, ties it back to the Hunter Biden laptop. The rest of it is just about Hunter Biden. Can't believe Hunter Biden did crack, boys. What a fucking addict, dude. He's an addict. What a Weasley little addict, dude. I guess, all right, well. Can you imagine being Rudy Giuliani and offended that someone who is an addict says that they're not an addict under oath? Like, oh, I can't believe he perjured himself under oath. Well, that's kind of how addiction works, motherfucker. Like, what do you mean? It's like one of the singular instances where, it's just like somewhat allowed. Whereas, who hasn't fucking perjured himself in the Trump administration?
I got out of being mayor. I didn't want to lobby. Never did it to Bush, never did it to Obama, never did it with Trump. And I can prove it. Just give me an opportunity.
Does Tucker Carlson have slack jaw? Is that what it's called when your jaw doesn't close? Like, the most famous conservative pundit is perhaps most famous for constantly having his mouth open when he's listening to people, like, which is usually associated with people that are, not intelligent, I guess, stereotypically.
Well, I've had it for 2 years and I haven't destroyed it. And they also got it from the iCloud.
What a picture, dude. Look at this. This is such a perfect frame. Everything you need to understand about what's going on is captured in this frame alone, okay? Crazy geriatric man, dumbfounded looking white supremacist asshole talking about Hunter Biden's laptop and its contents in the iCloud.
The guys who covered up child molestation.
Motherfucker, speaking of guys who cover up child molestation, there's a dude who is being investigated by the fucking federal authorities for potentially sex trafficking a 17-year-old across state borders. And the first thing Tucker Carlson did was have him on his show, where that same guy turned around and was like, yo, Tucker, remember when we went on that date with me and the 17-year-old? Come on, bro. And Tucker was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, don't talk to me about fucking sex trafficking of minors or pedophilia when that's your approach. Okay?
I should have done this at the outset. I just want to make absolutely certain we understand, our viewers understand what it is the Justice Department says they're investigating. We've read it's a FARA violation. Is there something else? What have they said to you about what they're looking into?
I just don't think that Trump supporters care enough about Rudy Giuliani, especially after Trump kind of dropped him because he was like, he's ugly. He's being real ugly on television. I don't like it. He just does not look good. He looks terrible. And like ever since then, like you can have Rudy Giuliani and like try to fucking paint a picture about like corruption within the intelligence community and why they're like prosecuting Rudy Giuliani or whatever. But like, I don't think this is as interesting for your audience as you think it is. Go back to just like doing white supremacist rhetoric. You just throw in the 14 words or something. You're going to lose their attention.
The search warrant is purportedly based on one single failure to file for representing a Ukrainian national or official that I never represented. I have never represented a Ukrainian national or official before the United States government. I've declined it several times. I don't do it because I felt it would be too compromising.
So what was he doing? Like, what was he getting hired for? You know what I mean? Like, just fucking because they love being around Rudy Giuliani or something? Like, what were they doing? Just hanging out? When I worked with clients in Ukraine, I was working with them at the capacity where I'm a really cool guy to be around. And that's why they hired me. This would only be better if the interview somehow ended with, Tucker, when we both worked for the Ukrainian oil giants. Like, it's like a callback to Matt Gaetz where he's just like implicates Tucker Carlson. Every guest going forward on the Tucker Carlson broadcast ends up fucking implicating Tucker as well. But here it is. The Daily Beast uncovered a story about Matthew Jebediah Gaetz. As you know, Matt Gaetz was under a federal investigation for allegedly, potentially sex trafficking a minor, having sex with a minor. 17-year-old, little Pizza Gates action early in the morning, caught in 4K. One of his homies, who is a rat fucker and also a, child molester, wrote in a letter basically just stating all the shit that Pizzagate's had done.
In a letter obtained by the Daily Beast, Joel Greenberg, a central figure in the ongoing investigation into Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz, writes that Gaetz paid for sex with multiple women, including with a minor who was 7.
This is the guy that Matt Gaetz literally urged to run for office. I just need you guys to remember, this is a great example of being hoisted on your own petard, okay? Like, this is a dude who literally fucking was urged to run for office by Matt Gaetz and is like besties with him, gets caught doing like a bunch of illegal shit and just blasts him, dude.
We will have much more on that in a moment, but there is also this news. Rudy Giuliani speaking out. He is denying wrongdoing after federal agents executed search warrants on his Manhattan residence and office. That the FBI directly warned Giuliani that he was the target of a Russian influence operation, disinformation.
Good morning. Well, Joel Greenberg wrote a letter admitting that he and Gaetz paid for sex with multiple women, including a minor who was just 17 at the time. And the letter was drafted after Greenberg asked Roger Stone, a close ally and friend of former President Trump, for help in obtaining a pardon during the final months of the Trump administration. Now, in an earlier draft of this letter obtained by the Daily Beast, Greenberg claims that he and Gaetz thought one woman was 19 years old, but later learned she was actually underage.
QAnon people really be like, Hunter Biden has photos of his nieces and nephews on his laptop, which means he's a pedophile. But Matt Gaetz literally hung out with pedos and had sex with a 17-year-old, but is not a pedophile. It's like, at some point, you got to realize, like, oh shit, you literally are just like, you just hate fucking people that you are people that are Democrats, and you just call them pedophiles. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, brother, Matt Gaetz is an honest American. It's just a classic definition of it's okay when my side does it. Like, it's just straight up.
Now, CNN's own Chris Cuomo spoke to Roger Stone last night. Stone says he doesn't recall any letter. He says that he never heard Greenberg implicating Gaetz and that he never tried to get Greenberg a pardon.
I told you, by the way, this is why, like, the Daily Beast reporting on this is kind of sus. I said this last night. No one has seen the letter yet. And as soon as I heard Roger Stone being referenced in it, I was like, uh-oh, this is not good. The reason why this is not good is that, like, they could literally have snuck this in to just taint the entire thing. To be like, oh, the letter actually never existed. It's fake news. I mean, Roger Stone is a professional liar. These guys will try everything in the book. I mean, there's plenty of connections with Matt Gaetz and the 17-year-old, including like, Venmo purchases and shit, like Venmo transactions that you can see in public. Because they're like that fucking stupid at hiding or covering their tracks. As soon as Roger Stone gets involved, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, spokesman for Gaetz responded with a statement saying, in part, Congressman Gaetz has never paid for sex, nor has he had sex with a 17-year-old as an adult. The story goes some way to showing how Representative Gaetz was long out of touch with Mr. Greenberg and had no interest in involving himself in Mr. Greenberg's affairs.
Yeah, you know, the photos, this photo when he invited him to the White House, or no, this is the old one. There's another photo when they're literally at the White House and Trump is speaking. Like, that photo was not taken in that photo's from like 5 years ago. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's literally from like 2 years ago. No, this motherfucker absolutely was still connected to him. Bro, Americans literally are against the ideological worldview of libertarians, and it shows, dude. Listen. When you're a libertarian, it's just a way of life, okay? Matt Gaetz physically cannot stop himself from saying, actually, it's ephebophilia every time this is brought up, okay? It's actually something he cannot stop doing. You are literally attacking him for his political beliefs, okay? This is libertarianism. This is a brain disease that has impacted a lot of people in Florida. You're being ableist when you, criticize and oppress libertarians in this way. You have done an ableism. You have done a no growth. You have done a cancel culture. You're literally canceling people for engaging in the marketplace of ideas. Okay.
He wrote this letter trying to get a pardon from the president. I just wonder the detail he put in there, and by mentioning Gaetz, was that part of the sales pitch, saying, hey, Mr. President, your pal here is involved. You better come to my aid? I mean, is that how you read that?
He's defending pedophiles, brother. He's ending pedophilia by making sure that, only the good pedophiles get pardoned, you know, the ones that are close to him. You don't understand. This is a very complicated, convoluted way of thinking. He's got the big brain, okay? He's too rich. He's rich as fuck, motherfucker. You don't understand. He's better than us. So shut the fuck up.
You know,
Said only legal pedophiles. Exactly.